Hello and welcome back to the Building a Newsletter playlist. My name is Josh. This is Contineofy, a little behind the scenes of me going through figuring out what newsletter platform to use, giving you a glimpse of the top three, in my opinion: Kit, Beehiiv, and Substack. The first video, if you guys haven't taken a look at it, kind of gives an overview of what this project's all going to be about. It's Valentine's Day weekend, and right now we are going to jump into the wonderful world of Beehiiv. We're going to do these in alphabetical order, not playing favorites. Who knows which one we're gonna go with? I think I'm starting to, like, as I'm diving more into this and kind of thinking through like the pros and cons and like what I want to do like with this and the long term of it. Kind of starting to figure out the one I want to go with. But who knows? But yeah, let's go ahead and share the screen. So let's jump in. Let's jump into Beehiiv. All right, here's the platform. We're on the home page here. As you can see, it's make a statement in the inbox. It kind of updated on me. They obviously have a personalized hero based off of some sort of variable, because it did say one thing and then it quickly changed to this. But yeah, they tout themselves as a for creators, BI creators platform. If you kind of go through the history of the company, the people that created it, they're definitely know what they're doing from a creative standpoint and why they built Beehiiv, and it being specifically for newsletters. It's not trying to be everything to everybody. It's very much a newsletter platform that allows you to accept subscriptions. You have your pay gates. If we come in here to features, so you can launch your website, send a newsletter, grow your list, monetize, and repeat, and rinse and repeat. So you can create it. You have your website where you can have like your sign up. Then, of course, you have your newsletter. It's very mobile friendly. You can publish, have all your automations, even use AI to create some prompts. What's nice is that you don't necessarily have to worry about the distribution of it. Once you hit publish, everybody that's subscribed to your newsletter, it's automatically going to get a copy of it. But you can use some sort of automational features to kind of segment that. If you have a different categories and parts of your newsletter that you want this to go to this type of person and this to go to that type of person, you can go that route as well. The text editor, super nice. It's a very, as of the world of tech, the dev team calls it a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. Very clean, very simple to use. But you have your referral program where you can kind of incentivize people to help. You can do boosts where you can offer people to tap into their newsletters, and then you give them almost like a CPL, or you'll pay them for every newsletter person that comes in. You have a recommendation engine where we can do trades, where I'll recommend yours if you recommend mine. Pop-up gates, subscription forms that you can embed on your website or wherever you want. And then another nice feature is these magic links that if you're wanting to, out of HubSpot or wherever you're at, invite people, you could have a button. And because you're inviting from a source that you know who it is, you can create these magic links that as soon as they click the link, they're automatically subscribed to your newsletter because you already know what their email address is. So long term, one of the perks of Beehiiv is the ability to monetize the newsletter. This is one of the things that when I was initially going down the newsletter path of what do I want to build, this was one of the ones that I'm not going to lie, piqued my interest, especially wanting to make this. I mean, this is going to be part of Contineofy. Like it's going to be promoted on the agency website, but it isn't necessarily going to be a hard branding situation. It kind of can like stand out on its own. So like thinking through this ad network that eventually you can do sponsored, and it's almost like Google Display, it seems, at least from what I've read, that you can have banners and different promotional elements in the newsletter that's related. And of course, the advertisers, even if you're a SaaS platform wanting to advertise, this is one of the great network that you can jump on, that for advertisers, you can come out here and say, hey, this is what my SaaS platform does. And you can advertise on newsletters that are in your niche or are targeted towards the types of people that are your potential buyers. I'm not quite sure what the CPLs are, but I can probably guess that it's probably less than Google search. Don't quote me on that though, but it's super tailored. And it seems that I haven't gone down the rabbit hole too much, but if you jump in here for advertisers, you can kind of get an idea of who the people are on these newsletters, what their engagement is, what's the average like click-through rate when, of course, like when a new post comes out, everybody that's subscribed gets notified via email. How many of those actually click and come into the newsletter? And then I'm assuming because this is all capped up with Beehiiv, they probably show you the CPLs and the cost, like cost per clicks, for those of you who don't know CPL, of what everything's going on. So it seems like it'd be a good situation. You get a 30-day trial, and then you have all the metrics. They call it 3D metrics on the back end. You can segment your buyers, kind of see how many people are scrolling through. You get a good amount of analytics. You can do polls, you can do surveys to start building more information around the types of people that are subscribed or at least viewing your newsletter. If you're open gated, that you can then take all of this information, push it back to HubSpot, and it could be a way that you could collect some interesting things that you wouldn't necessarily collect on your website, that having the context of the newsletter around it kind of like makes it a little less intimidating, that they might be more willing to provide additional information that provides great context for you from a sales standpoint. And of course, you can do A/B testing on the emails, lots of integrations, and then of course the open API, depending on what you want to do with it going forward. Thinking through from a pricing standpoint, we'll switch this to yearly, so you're going to see the best rates. Beehiiv gives you for free up to 2,500 subscribers. You get your custom website, which is the initial landing page of where you're pushing people to subscribe to the newsletter. You have custom newsletters that you can kind of build whatever you want. Unlimited email sends to your subscribers. You can have up to 3 different newsletters. So if you want to push newsletters for different types of things, so like I shared in the last video, like with SaaS, I was thinking like you could have a marketing promotional newsletter. You could have like a roadmap newsletter of like things that are coming. You could have a customer updates newsletter that you could just subscribe all your customers to as a means of updating them with everything that's available on the platform now, which would be roadmap related. And then I was even thinking through like you could have this as an internal newsletter for you and everybody that's on your team, that you could highlight different departments and things that are going on, celebrate people that are achieving things, and kind of have it as like a monthly publication just for your internal folks. You have the recommendation network that gives you the visibility of other newsletter people. This is definitely has some weight, that as you're creating your newsletter, it's not up to you to grow it all by yourself. There is the ability to jump into this recommendation network where it's like, again, I recommend you, you recommend me, get a lot of visibility, that the newsletter just isn't reliant on you sharing it with people that you already know in your database, whether that be through email invites or the widget on your website. So again, it's people that you already know and know you. With this recommendation network, it could allow you to tap into an entirely different audience of people that don't even know your brand exists. So yeah, lots of features. Kind of went through them all. The pricing, obviously, of the ad network. Beehiiv shows all the good things that it's good for. It does allow you to embed podcasts, which it was interesting. I'm like, it seems like you could have your RSS feed get fed to Beehiiv, and then anytime you broadcast a podcast, it could get thrown as a Beehiiv post and then distributed. So it could be a way for you to go that route as well if you're looking to get some additional visibility for your podcast. And then everybody that subscribes to your Beehiiv newsletter, the moment you send out a new podcast, then they get notified of the podcast. So lots of different ways to think about how to leverage Beehiiv. This is definitely one of the underdogs that I think came out around 2020-ish, 2021, I think, if I remember right. But ever since then, they have been a huge contender. The growth of this platform is crazy, which was the reason why when I was thinking of going down the newsletter path, this was definitely one of the first ones I looked at as, hey, what would it take to build here? And then, of course, you can't go wrong with being able to start the newsletter, getting up to 2,500 subscribers with no cost to you, that you could at least test out building a newsletter and thinking through, is this something that can be beneficial to me? Is it too much work for what it is? You can kind of test things out. And then even going through, switch this back to yearly, even getting up to that 2,500 subscribers, if you wanted to tap into the ad network and the boosts and all of the fancy things that can get you a lot of growth really fast versus kind of like being reliant on just you, then, I mean, that's only $52 a month for that same 2,500, build at 624 for the year. If we jump up to 50,000 subscribers, let's say this thing takes off, you're looking at $174 a month. The launch obviously is gone. But at that point, if you were to put it behind a gate, you would make it a paid newsletter. 50,000 subscribers, it could be very lucrative, even if you were to just say $1 per subscriber. I mean, that's $50,000 a month, and you're only paying $174 for it to have access to everything. So lots of things to think about. Will this be the platform that I choose to go with? I don't know. But if you like this video and you're enjoying the anticipation of what are we going to go with, definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. As always, my name is Josh. This is Contineofy. See you in the next one.